Hello everybody, Arkansas Minuteman 0864 here, bringing you part two of my opinions on what is wrong with the P320 slash M17 slash M18 pistols. Last week we talked about it and I told you my opinion was that all these cases of it uncommanded firing is all utter bullshit, and that no weapon fires unless something causes it to fire by making the trigger be moved. The trigger is the source of it all. Well, it was also brought up during that time that a airman at Warner Air Base up north somewhere, Minnesota, Montana, somewhere up there, had been killed by taking his weapon and holster off of his belt and laying it on a table, and at which time it went off and hit him in the chest. And I brought up some questions like, how was he trained? Because 24 years in the military, you didn't take a pistol off your belt in a holster and just lay it down. You were outside at a discharge barrel. You pulled that weapon out of the holster. You put the muzzle in the barrel. You released the magazine, stowed the magazine, and then you racked the slide back or the charging handle back and removed the round that was in the chamber. Then you observed the chamber, let the slide go, put the weapon back on safety, and reholster it to go into your arms room. That's the way it's properly done. Another question I had was, why would he lay it down in a holster with the muzzle facing him? Was he sitting at that table? Was he standing at that table? He had to be sitting for it to hit him in the chest. Otherwise, it would have hit him in the lower abdominal area or the groin area. Had he had any other medical problems, mental problems? Was he depressed, PTSD? Did he have girlfriend problems, wife problems, financial problems, family problems? And the list goes on. Well, right after I put the video up, a viewer wrote in and told me, put me on the trail, that another airman had been arrested in conjunction with that shooting event, and he was charged with obstruction of justice, involuntary manslaughter, I believe it was second-degree involuntary manslaughter, and making a false sworn statement. In other words, he lied. So, once again, here I come across saying again, what I said was true, it was bullshit. Somebody or something pulled that trigger. Now, I went further and I started researching it. Oh, and another thing, let me hit this right quick. Another viewer wrote in and said, well, I guess the court was wrong when they awarded a guy down in Atlanta, Georgia, like $2.5 or $2.75 million for being shot by his own weapon when he had it in the holster and it went through his thigh. Okay. Well, I did some research on that. The guy owned up to during the court testimony that one, he hadn't read the owner's manual, and basically weren't very that familiar with it. So I'm going to call it the way I see it, that it was operator error, and that's the courts awarded him $2 million, which out of that, the lawyers on average is going to get at least 50% of that, if not more. And I'm going to call bullshit on that too. Something caused that trigger to be manipulated and it went off. Now, I also went further and I ran across another YouTuber, and it's a three-part series in there, and I'm going to try to go back and find it and link that link down below. And there's another one where another guy put M17 like mine right here in a holster and put it on a machinery vibratory machine, and it just sat there and vibrated. He had it on there for just shy of an hour. He was like about 2.5 or 3 minutes shy of an hour when the machine cut off. He pulls the weapon out, He put it in there unloaded, but he put it in there with it caught. He pulls it out of the holster. He holds it up in a safe direction, and he pulls the trigger, and you clearly hear the hammer fall. It didn't go off after almost an hour of being vibrated. And you look at that video, it's vibrating the crap out of it. Okay, where's the magic low F that's making it go off in there? Because it ain't on that one either. Now, the previous one I spoke of, this guy was called by a gentleman that is in the upper echelon of SIG, and this guy shoots P320s as competitions, and he owns several of them. And this guy from SIG called him up and said, hey, try this, because I found this to be a problem with mine because it was doing the same thing. And I think this is the problem. And what it is the weapon, when it's being disassembled, is not being reassembled properly in accordance to the operator/owner's manual. The manual is given with the weapon for a reason, and everybody should read it. Everybody don't, including me. All right? I'm just like every other guy, or I have been. I'm getting better at it now. I read manuals now. But I'm still notorious about, it's owner's manual. I know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. Out the window you go. Well, I went back, pulled my owner's manual out, got to reading it. And what the guy from SIG told the guy to do is pretty much verbatim in the owner's manual. But what it is instead of taking and racking back the slide and then trying to push down the disassembly lever and disassembling it that way, you need to rack it back. I'm not left-handed, so bear with me. You're going to take your slide disengage lever. You're going to rack it back like the slide back. Then you're going to take and rotate the disassembly lever down, and on SIG, they're tight. As such, you're going to pull it back, release that, and the slide will come right off. Now, we're not disassembling this any further right now because this is just trying to show you the right way to do this. Now, to put it back together, most people will slide it back. They will go trying to figure out the right way to do this and safely handle this weapon. They will slide it back, hold the, and then let it go. All right? Yes, it will fire. If you slide it back again, it will fire. It won't fire. My bad. I'm backwards on that one. If you listen very carefully when I rack this thing back, you will hear the hammer fall as the slide goes back forward. And you got to put a little pressure on the trigger, about 1 millimeter. Here, see, no trigger. Try it again. A little pressure. Hammer falls. Now let's do it with no pressure on the trigger. Slide it back, let it go. Nothing. One more time. It won't fire. The hammer's already failed. When the slide rides forward, the hammer is riding forward with it. Even when you slide it back, it won't do it. Apparently there's a bar in there that comes out and it depresses the sear that holds the trigger in place. And doing it like that, it does not release that bar to allow the sear to engage the trigger and keep it cocked back. Now, if I go and take it back, slide it back, rotate the lever down, release that, pull it apart, and now this time, if we go and slide it back, and this is the proper way to reassemble the 320, the 17, and the 18, since the 18 and 17 are based on the 320 design. Slide it back, lock it with the disengage lever. Now you go and and rotate the lever forward, release the lever, slide it forward, and listen. It fires. If I rack it back with a little pressure on the trigger, about 1 millimeter, you hear that click? Now it fires. One more time. A little pressure on the trigger. Clicks, fires. One more. Click, fires. Now, there is another thing to show you here, too. I'm going to give me a minute. I'm going to rack this thing apart again. Take it apart. Now I'm going to put it back together the wrong way. All right. So I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold that back. And I'm going to... Now, with that done like that, an empty magazine, if it's assembled the wrong way, put the mag in and look how far the mag sticks out. That is an indicator right there. It is assembled wrong. Now, you can rack it back, lock it back, and the mag will go in. But that's the wrong way. Now, release the mag. I am going to come in here and I'm going to rotate the disassembly lever down, pull it back, release it, slide it apart. Now I'm going to put it back together again the right way, engage the slide release lever so it holds it back. You're going to rotate that forward, disengage. Now, if it is assembled correctly, watch this. It goes all the way in, the way it's supposed to. That is the proper way to do it. That is how your owner's manual tells you to reassemble the 320, the M18, and M17 pistols. Now, that's why I'm sticking with that. That is operator error. It ain't the gun, period. People, well, it's been dropped and it went off. Yeah, well, guess what? If you drop a pistol and it hits just right with enough force, it's going to jar something loose in there and it's going to go off. And it may be the operator's fault, especially if you've got like a 2-pound trigger on the thing. Well, no shit, Sherlock. You drop that thing, it only takes 2 pounds. And if your measurements are off, it may take less than 2 pounds and send the thing off. So, I'm sorry, operator error is going to wind up being the case, in my opinion, on all of them. Because you've done something or somebody's done something to the weapon to make it where to go off that easy. Now, the guy that talked to that said about the courts being wrong, I researched that. I found out who the lawyer was. He's out of Philadelphia. And in my opinion, because Philadelphia votes pretty much heavy Democrat, it ain't in my opinion, it's not a far-fetched assumption that he's probably associated with the Democrat Party. He also is affiliated with like the American Legislature for Justice of Guns or something. Let me look right here right quick. Let me pull this back up. He is a co-chair of the American Association for Justice's Firearm Litigation Group. He is also associated with something to do with gun litigation advocacy group. And what I have read and what I have seen about that, they're both anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment organizations. So my personal opinion is this guy is straight up anti-gun, he's straight up anti-Second Amendment. And what they're doing is that, yeah, there's a law that says you can't sue the firearms industry, but I think there's a loophole in there that unless it can be proven that it is the gun manufacturer's fault and somebody got hurt or got killed, then they're open for litigation then. Well, that's the loophole they're looking for. He is running this gauntlet of, all right, we can't get rid of the Second Amendment because we ain't going to get enough votes through Congress or through the states to change the Constitution. And we just can't arbitrarily sue the gun manufacturer because it's federal law. But we can sue him because this guy's got shot and this guy got killed by a weapon going off on its own. So we're going to sue him out of existence by going this route. And that's the route they're taking. Bottom line. They're trying to sue the gun manufacturers out of existence by that loophole. And I think that law needs to go back and be amended and take that loophole out of it because, in my opinion, again, ain't no damn gun going off by itself. Something is going to manipulate it and make it go off. You dropped it. You went in there and you filed down the sear, so it went from a 4.5, 5 pound pull trigger to a 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds. Well, that's on you. You decide to do it. That's your fault. That ain't the gun manufacturer's fault. Because if you read the owner's manual, and I'm stressing read the owner's manual, it plainly states that any modification done to the weapon by the new owner or owners nullifies and voids any warranty given by the manufacturer. And I'm pretty sure if you read between the lines, that is also saying that, hey, it also voids of us any responsibility if that thing goes off and you get hurt, you get killed. So there you have it. Now, that's about all I got for today. I'm trying to keep these things short. I don't want to bore you all to death too much. So leave your comments. What do you think? What's your opinion on this? Do you believe guns just magically go off? Or do you feel like I do? The owner did something or something manipulated the mechanism on that weapon to make it go off. They dropped it. Something was in the holster and hit the trigger. Okay? Now, I will say this. There is one more caveat to this. SIG has owned up that the trigger was supposed to have been like 4.5 pounds before it released, and they've got it down. They found one that was like at about 3 pounds. Maybe SIG needs to do a recall on these things, and I don't have a problem with this, and go in and put a stronger string in there so that, and they test them and make sure they're breaking at 4.5, 5 pounds. That's just a safety thing. I got another question I need to ask. All these people that's been shot and killed by these things, are they seasoned gun owners? Have they got experience handling weapons before? Or is this some newbie off the street? That needs to be asked. How many years experience, sir, have you got handling a weapon? How long have you handled this weapon? Did you read the owner's manual? Did you follow the owner manual instructions for assembly and disassembly? But who am I? I'm just a lowly peon out here trying to get information out to people. That's all I am. But anyway, I'm through ranting for now. As always, keep patrolling, stay alert, stay alive.